Sup, it's your unfriendly red rat neighbor Kevin Cornish, and I'm back with part 2 of What If Deku Was the Son of All. For one, this specific idea was given to me by Kid Zeus of Kid Zeus Studios. His link would be in the description alongside with others such as Six Meister, Zoku Meister, Liam Meister, number 8, just to mention a few. These are what if creators that I think are amazing. Go check the links in the description. Tell them the tell them the Carnage Man sent you. I twisted my tongue. I'm not re-recording. Anyway, like I said, this is what if Deku was the son of All for One Part 2. So in the last part we left off, I kind of am going to be changing a few aspects of this, or Deku will still be a thing, but I'm thinking let's spice it up a little bit. So before we entered the MHA gate, we could see two young ladies walking as they were close friends for many years. Their family known each other through middle school or high from kids, and turns out the two girls end up being friends because the family end up buying houses close to each other, so these girls are currently best friends in the world. So they know everything about each other. They know the type of guy each one likes, which oddly they both have the same taste in guys. So we also get to find out this is Uraraka and Froppy, and fuck all y'all. But anyway, so we get back to the port where Deku is now standing in front of MHA. And if y'all didn't notice, I'm not doing a recap. So go over to part 1 of What If Deku Was the Son of All for One and understand what happened there. So let's get into it. So we get to the point where Deku is now standing in front of MHA, admiring it for the view and the prestige name it has been garnishing throughout the years. You know what I mean? So a little bit of incident happened, and he tripped slightly, and he's like, how embarrassing. But all of a sudden he was now then floating as he felt something around his waist and someone touching his back. As he turned around, he saw Uraraka first, and then noted that Uraraka looked eerily similar to the girl his father forced him to kill back when he was a kid. He's still a kid, but back when he was way younger. So Deku lost his composure for a second, but Froppy then intervened and told him to be very careful. It's quite usual for someone that doesn't know their environment to frequently come upon freak accidents per se. And this person looks like, not looks like, but acts like the boy that he was forced, his best friend that he was forced to kill 1 year prior to the girl. You know what I mean? So in retrospect, the Froppy acts like his guy best friend, and Uraraka looks like the girl he had a crush on a couple years back in the past. And like I said in the last part, you get a slight recap that All for One had a quirk that made it so that only Deku remembers his victims. His no one else remembers them, but Deku does and stuff. So this kind of put Deku at ease. So we time skip now to where they're finally taking the entrance exam. Deku being much faster, much smarter, and more keen to fighting stronger opponents. So in this part, we'll have dividend by multiply, or multiply times 2. So we have 5 pointer times 2, 10 pointers times 2, 20 pointers times 2, 40 pointers times 2, 80 pointers, or that point. So Deku is more focused on eliminating all the 80 pointers, 80 pointer robots, so he could obtain a high score, because him and All Might did have a conversation about the call that he got a few days prior, as All Might was trying to talk out Deku from his main goal, which is murdering All for One and taking back his freedom. Because even though he's free, knowing that his father is still out there and still yearning for him for some secret reason is going to just make Deku's life a sheer living hell, right? And so speak, so said there at the entrance exam. Deku is doing very well, destroying the high numbered robots, and everyone's just taking care, trying their best to, catch up to Deku, because as this entrance exam started, Deku deactivated all their quirks. Like I said, Deku has a quirk where he doesn't need to touch or look at you. He just needs to visualize or memorize your quirks activation, not quirk activation, but memorize what your quirk is capable of, and and also different from Night Eye's quirk, it can affect multiple targets. So at the beginning of it, he deactivated all their quirks, waited a few minutes before, and then deactivated it and stuff. But as Deku was standing on top of a skyscraper type building, reveling in his in his doing, the alarm was sound, and the zero pointer was released. And something is strange about the zero pointer. One of the teachers point out, because then the design of the zero pointer is fairly different from what they remember All Might seeing, sensing something was wrong, immediately went out to see for his own eyes. But as he was approaching, he was then grabbed by a tentacle from the zero pointer. So let me explain what is happening here. So the League of Villains will be attacking way earlier than in canon, so early that they're attacking the entrance exam. So to whatever that guy's name is, I forget what his name is. Always, I remembered it a few seconds ago. Then Todoroki. Is it Todoroki? Anyway, the guy with the fucking decomposing quirk, the one that keeps wearing a hand for a mask on his face, shows up at the entrance exam with a little quirk that All for One gave him to manipulate technology. Well, not gave him, but with a Nomo with a quirk that could manipulate technology, which is what is happening to the zero pointer, and Nomu took it over and then forced it to evolve to a more deadlier state. Let's say in the original exam, the zero pointer couldn't fire missiles, lasers, or cause any destruction that would later lead to someone, or an accident that would cause someone to die. The League of Villain, with their modified Nomu, just made that the opposite. So the zero pointer could fire missiles, fire lasers, and probably is planning on killing majority of the students attending the entrance exam. So Deku and All Might was a distance away, rushed in as quickly as he can to stop the zero pointer in its track, but the zero pointer fused with the Nomu was proven to All Might to be a tad difficult to handle, as the zero pointer then was tossing All Might around. This moment, their purpose here is to abduct Deku. Deku does know about the guy with the mask for hand for a mask, and he did see him around and stuff, but they didn't go into detailed conversation back when he was living with his father. He constantly avoided Deku due to All For One being Deku's biological father, and this guy wants All For One to acknowledge him as his father, to blah 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 situation. You know what I mean? So, and as I said, All Might doesn't have that gaping injury due to Deku deactivating his father's quirk from causing injuries to All Might, and All Might did cause All For One to look like scrotums with lips. Man look like a nutsack with lips for real, bro. I tried rewatching the part when All Might and All For One was fighting when he looked like a skinny ass. But he still did look like a scrotum with lips, and I mean some white ass teeth. That goodbye, nigga be using Crest White for all. But anyway, so we get off with the situation with Deku hearing and seeing the students running, evacuating to the opposite direction. See that the zero pointer is causing a little bit of yeah, and he does know about all or majority of the Nomus and what the plan was before they got ransacked by the League of Heroes or Hero Society and stuff. So Nick was seeing this, wasn't going to get involved. He was going to leave it to the professional heroes in this sense. But he saw them two girls again, and he's like, well, they could handle themselves. But Uraraka did still get her foot trapped with Froppy trying her best to raise everything off the ground. Deku was still trying to be a little hard ass, seeing them and stuff. His heart was beating out of his chest, and later noticed Deku was standing right next to Froppy and Uraraka. Knowing how he get there, nigga moved fast. Nigga just like instant transmission type shit right there, my brother. Like and so he did get the object off of Uraraka's leg, but Uraraka couldn't be seen, or Uraraka couldn't walk per se, because she kind of got a little fracture there or something. So Deku then proceeded to Princess carry my girl, with Froppy following close behind. As then the zero pointer Nomu pinpointed Deku, and he did done do All Might a little dirty. So All Might is a couple meters away from the disaster, because the zero pointer threw him like a baseball, like whoosh! It's out of here. But anyway, yeah. Wait, what? But anyway, so the zero pointer is now hunting Deku, with Deku being handicapped because of a person on his back and stuff. So Froppy tried her best to throw debris in the line of the zero pointer's path, with with no success. The zero pointer was still plowing his way to their direction. Suddenly, Deku turned into a wrong alley, which is going to be a dead end. As you notice, as I said first, is going to be a dead end and was going to be a dead end. That wasn't accidental. I did that on purpose. So hit him up with a boom, 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 boom. Anyway, so Deku did turn, and he's now, his back's against the wall. Gonna say that. Fire into the hand. Two words collide from the inside. Hey, that's Baku. Oh, I know what anime I'll be watching on later now. But anyway, so Deku is now his back's against the wall, and Nomu closely approaching, and he's contemplating leave them here as decoy, because then he doesn't know that fucking he knows not that he doesn't know, he knows who's controlling the zero pointer actually, and he knows that they're here for him specifically, but something is not allowing him to let these two girls go. It's like, he could just deliberately use them as decoy and get out of there, but he cannot, for some reason. Some external force is forcing him to protect these two girls, which he actually does protect these girls. But then the zero pointer fired a punch. The three of them get separated as no, after all the dust cloud was gone. Deku looked around and Uraraka was not anywhere to be seen, because the zero pointer had her in his hands, with Deku um seeing Froppy underground bleeding. She wasn't badly injured, she was just unconscious, and something snapped. Darkness covered Deku's perspective, and he was speaking to someone. He was about to lose his composure and turn into the monster that his father wanted him to be. But a light appeared amongst the darkness, and this was the spirit of his mother and stuff. Granted, she does love bad boys, but she doesn't want her son to be a bad boy. And if I forgot to mention, Inko had a very unique quirk. Her quirk was the ability to copy other quirks. Dun dun dun. Similar to what happened to, all the users of One for All, where Deku acquired their specific quirks ability. Deku, hugged his mother, cried with his mother, because the whole scene was happening in a few seconds. But what to him it was like a couple minutes. They hold a couple conversations, shit like that. But in reality, it was just like fucking 5 seconds. 5 seconds, and Deku just blew out of there. Like, by the time the zero pointer was trying to crush Uraraka in his metally clingy hands, bolted filled motherfucker hand, he closed his hand, opened his hand again to notice there isn't any blood and there isn't any sign that he succeeded. As the zero pointer was scanning his surrounding, he then picked up on Deku's life sign in the sky. Now, how would this nigga be in the sky of this moment in time? Like I said, Inko had a very unique quirk, and y'all gonna say, well, he can't have two different type of quirks and stuff like this, but Icy Hat has it. Icy Hat could use fucking ice and hot fucking fire as well. What the fuck are you talking about? So Deku has two quirks. One quirk was specifically designed for him, and the other is his mother's quirk. So my guy be bussin'. Oh man. So throughout the years, he encountered a few other people, memorized their quirk. Like I said, in order for him to use his quirk, he has to visualize said person to deactivate the quirk. Inko's quirk works similar. That's why it was a merger between what All for One did to Deku and shit like that. And he has to visualize that person with that said quirk, and he will acquire that quirk. and Deku is now flying as the zero pointer is scanned and located him, firing missiles and stuff at him. But Deku didn't flinch. Explosion landed with everyone, gasping, screaming, and doing the most. But when the smoke cleared, Deku was still in the air. But then now you know, now he has a force field up, and everyone is like, what's going on? Didn't didn't didn't. But different from his father's quirk, he doesn't need to take someone's quirk to use someone else's quirk. This is his specific quirk evolution or some shit. I'm not sure and stuff. So Uraraka finally wakes up as she see that, oh, she's flying. So she screams, grabs onto Deku tightly. Deku heart beated loudly, like real loudly, that it created, how you call this type of bomb, a microwave bomb, like ish, man, where all technology shuts down and stuff, nuclear some shit, nuclear warhead, nuclear AC, nuclear microwave bomb, but a pulse, electric pulse or some shit. I'm not sure how you call it, but then after using it, all technology in 3 mile radius stop working. So if y'all could help me out with what you call that pulse, micro pulse, microwave pulse, some shit. But anyway, Deku did that shit with his heart, and it stopped the robot in its track. But the Nomu, like I said, he had the quirk to manipulate technology. A few moments later, got the fucking zero pointer running, as Deku is then now land on top of a building. And like I said, he did do the instant transmission, but he wasn't really focusing that he was using his secondary quirk. So he instant transmitted himself to where he last saw Froppy. Froppy already gained consciousness and was hiding in a corner, assessing the situation. With Deku, just startling her, whole placed his hand on her shoulder, and again ancient transmission himself back to where Uraraka was, and he leaped up and he hardened his arm, a quirk he saw from one of the classmates he has. But not only that, he hardened his arm, he doubled it with double hardness, and he smacked the living daylights out of the zero pointer, decapitating it, actually. One punch, decapitating it, as the rest of the League of Villains were, trying to bully other kids. But these kids aren't anything like canon. Remember, most of the kids that are in the class are from Deku's middle school, such as Bakugo and a few like 4 more other students. They've been with Deku, or as they know him, Midoriya, for about 3 years, and throughout that 3 years, they had to, do a little changes to their routine. Cause if not, Deku would have run fades with their face every day, all day, any day. You know what I mean? So, um, finally, the Nomu that was controlling the zero pointer revealed himself, and he gathered all of his remaining energy, calling all the surrounding technology to cover his body, and a fight ensues with Deku and the Nomu, but Deku can be seen faltering a bit, because then he already used a lot of energy. In fact, he already used too much quirk on this battle, meaning he used multiple quirk at the same time. such as the instant transmission and the hardening of the skin, the flight ability, and the strength enhancement quirk. So all these quirks are there. They were quirk that he temporarily stopped in the past, so he knows them, and that's what he's doing, using his memories to forge these quirks into existence and stuff. So Deku is finally tired, and he's about to receive the knockout blow to be captured, because then the Nomu was instructed not to kill this one. Everything else, yes, and stuff. So Deku was about to get the final blow with him closing his eyes to, not see what's about to transpire. There's no need to fear, cause I am here. All Might appears, punching the Nomu square in the face, like something like that song from Eminem. Cause you're gonna taste my face. He actually said Venom, but then I'm using right down square in the face. You're gonna taste my venom and some shit like that. So my niggas spanked the Nomu clean, bruh. As the masked individual noticed that the Nomu was defeated, he then instructed to his other villain's friend to evacuate immediately, because All Might was regained his composure and stuff. So we time skip to where Deku is in the hospital with Uraka and Froppy visiting him. And did I say he passed out? He passed out. So he's been sleeping for a couple hours. And Uraka and Froppy, thinking that he is like, similar to the guy they both find, attractive, intelligent, brave, and, a Deku at this moment. And a fight between the girls ensued, not like, physical fight, just a verbal fight as to who is going to be asking him out. But another classmate, entered the class and, gave them some rational thoughts, like, y'all don't even know each other to y'all to think about dating this boy. This boy is bad news. Don't you know who he is? And they're like, this is All For One's son, duh. And they were shocked because big reveal. So remember when I said that Deku was forced to kill his best friend and forced to kill the first girl he had a crush on? Now that big reveal is now started. When Deku, we get a huge flashback of a couple years where Deku is now 5 years old, but he looks more like a 12-year-old, or teen to be exact, and he was, constantly, his body was constantly messed with to fluctuate from a middle schooler to a kindergartner to a high school appearance. So his identity to him at that time was unknown. So when he did find the first friend in kindergarten, they did everything together. They played, they sleep, they ate, and All For One, seeing the potential of him cutting ties with his emotion was like right there. But what we didn't know is that boy was not a boy. Yes, that boy was Froppy, and I understand. I said he killed him, right? But Deku was 5 years old, barely able to control his quirk, to be precise. Granted, All For One did ask him to, push him off a cliff or some shit, in which he complied with, but a little detail was missed out. He survived. Or, may I say, she survived. And the same goes for Uraraka. So, they both died in similar means, or did they? You know what I mean? But thanks to the quirk that All for One did, they forgot their existence and they were found by, some police officers and stuff. Separate timing, in no one, like I said, could have recognized them, not even themselves. So they were placed in the orphanage while the two of their parents were friends long time. They couldn't conceive children, which prompted them to adopt Froppy, one of the parents, and the other adopted Uraraka. You know what I mean? So Uraraka and Froppy end up growing up being best friends because they knew each other from the orphanage, but not also knew each other from the orphanage. A couple of best friends adopted them both separately, but both and stuff. So their life was reasonably happy. Granted, they don't remember Deku, and Deku, you know, kind of think that he actually did kill them and stuff. And so he still doesn't know. I'm telling you so y'all could know. So that's why he got the feeling that they look very familiar to him, because they are the people. They are the people that he was forced to push off a cliff or forced to do some horrific act to cause him to lose his touch with, his emotion, which didn't work and shit. And they reinstilled that shit in him back because, you know what I mean. So they're like, oh, because then we were actually talking about the big reveal of the, one stranger background character revealing Deku's origin, which made everyone, both of the girls, like, really surprised, because then they thought that the son of All for One was placed under protective custody, and he could be, out and about, because then they don't know if he is as evil as his father. But then they both start thinking, if he was like his father, he would have left them to die. He wouldn't try to risk them his life for them in the first place. So they dismissed this classmate's claim of him being exactly like his father at this moment in time, and decided to, run that bitch out of the hospital. I mean, out of the infirmary, because she's being a bad mouth fucking piece of shit. And they both get the left and right hand of, Deku, as Deku finally wakes up to see that two gorgeous little babes standing next to his arms, and they confess to him, telling him that they know who he is, and it's no they're like confess their love for him, but they already felt something for him after all that feat he did to ensure that they were out of danger. So that knight in shining armor shit worked, even though he wasn't planning, like he wasn't doing it to get that kind of affection or attention from them, to be exact. So they tell him, he covers his face. He says he's ashamed because then he wasn't responsible for who his parents would be or stuff like this. So he doesn't know why people condemn him or tell him he's just like his father when he is striving not to be. But you forgot, in episode 1, you fucking smashed the cat's brains, taking all 9 lives with it. But anyway, so um they finally walk and go, and just Deku goes home, and he says, I'm home, and shit's like this happens. And also remember, Deku is not living by himself. So her Inko had a very best friend to the point that she's the one currently raising Deku, with Deku calling her mom, since he never knew his mom, and the only time he got to knew his mom was when the zero pointer attacked with her, meeting him in the realm of possibilities. I'm not sure. So they do finally get their letter. They pass. They enter the school. They decide who the president was going to be, and since everyone was like not really sure about Deku, he wasn't the main pick to become the president of the class. So Booster Leg Guy was unanimously voted to become the president. The League of Villains second time to enter MHA, causing a little panic. The students panic. Deku, kind of have hockey or some shit. Um, you know, used his energy to calm down a bunch of the students. And what I mean by calm down, let out that hockey blast and motherfuckers start dropping like flies, like and stuff. So they calm down and stuff and stuff. And they're now discussing the sports festival, which is like, route around the corner, with Booster Leg Guy being like uptight and shits like this and stuff. So the sports festival starts. We time skip, and the sports festival starts, but it starts with a huge fucking explosion at the front gate. All right, so this is where we're going to be leaving this off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of this one, and check out the links in the description for the person who gave me this thumbnails, Kid Zeus, for the person who encouraged me to become a YouTuber, Six Master, and for the friends I made for meeting both of them, Zoku Meister, Liam Meister, number 8, just to name a few. As I said in the beginning, these are what if creators that I personally think are amazing. Go check the link, go to their pages, and tell them the Carnage Man sent you. Hit them up with a hiya, hiya. So anyway, so I will be uploading this probably soon or some shit, but who knows? I might probably fucking just not show up for another 2 months or some shit. Because technically I can't do it if I want to do it. But I don't want to disappoint y'all again. You're actually doing good for me. I'm at 120 subscribers now. So thanks to you all supporting me and, you know, giving a hand to a nigga in need. But anyway, this is your unfriendly raid rat neighbor, Kevin Carnage, and I'll see you in the next one. Holla at a nigga, say whoop, Nobuna, Oda, say some shit. Where you at?